All right, Mexico part 2. So, just a quick, tiny recap. Went for our first trip, totally innocent trip. Nothing happened, whatever. Had fun, whatever. And everything was all good and fine and dandy. All right. So, a little bit of time goes by, and what ends up happening is my friend's dad, he owned a surf shop. It was in a beach city. I don't know if I want to name it exactly, but he had I can remember the logo for it. I remember the name, like whatever. It was called Players Surf Club, which is really, oh my gosh, I just realized how ironic that is. But anyways, Players Surf Club. So, guess where he would go to pick up his merchandise for his store, for getting board shorts and surfboards and wetsuits and all that. He was going to Mexico a lot, like a lot. So there was plenty of times where he was going to Mexico on the weekends and he would ask my friend to ask me to go. And I would be it made me feel special. I was like, whoa, they want me to come? Cool. Like, this is really cool. And so that started. And because it went so swimmingly the first time, like my mom's not like concerned or whatever, so she gives the okay and we take off. When we go, and it's me, my friend, and remember, his little brother that is 2 to 3 years younger than us. It's got to be like 2.5 years or something. It's not an equal number. I would remember if it was like that. So we drive, we drive, we drive. We go through the border. We get to Mexico. We go to this motel. Definitely not a hotel. Motel. I can still remember it was called like the San Franciscan. And I know that there's like a bar in Torrance or something called that, but like this, it was called San Francisco something or something San Francisco. I can still see it in my head. We always stayed there. But this was the first time. So we get to the hotel. We are like waiting while my friend's dad is doing the we're doing the he's getting the room and everything. So we're just waiting, and then he comes out and he has two sets of keys. No, we don't say anything, and we go and we are following him. We have our bags, and he opens the door for us, and then he's like, "Oh, here you guys go." And we put our stuff. He comes in the room. We put our stuff into the room, and then he leaves, and he goes into another room by himself, and he closes the door, and we don't see him again until we leave Mexico days later. Yeah, yeah. So we would wake up and we would just go strolling around Mexico unsupervised. Me, think about it. Me, I was like the picture esque kidnappable kid. Like I was the poster child of like, hey, you see the little gringo like this? Take him. Like in today's climate, I really don't think this could happen. I don't know. I don't want to say for sure, but me and my friend, like we're not even 10 years old. My friend's little brother is like 6 or 7. Like we're very I might get the ages wrong, whatever, but it's like I was not like in elementary school, I was closer to first grade than fifth grade when this all happened. So that's how I try to like remember it. Like I wasn't like some fifth grader that kind of knew what was up. I was very green, very innocent, very like naive. Okay, so we are like we're just walking around Mexico, and we have pesos, and we had like that was like the one thing that he did was we like exchanged money or whatever so that we would have like pesos and like the right type of like money, whatever. So we would literally go around like all day, and we would just buy like we would buy lighters, switchblades, um, wrist rockets, um, butterfly knives. What else? Just like literally, like it was like if you have the that was where I learned. I remember learning that very very young of like, wow, if you have the money, they will sell you it. They do not care. Which I'm pretty sure that's still a thing in Mexico. I don't think that changed at all. But like like we just had no supervision at all. Like we're just walking around, there's like a park, whatever. There we go, we get tacos, like, and like we're just exploring the city of Mexico by ourselves. And like it's like it's crazy to think of now because you could almost can't imagine like a parent doing that to like someone, especially someone else's child, me. But yeah, that's what happened. So this wasn't the only time that this happened. This was just the first time of the irresponsible trips. Yeah, it became like a theme basically. And I don't know why none of us really spoke up about it. Like nobody, like I didn't say anything. Like I don't know. I mean, I guess I didn't feel that threatened or like in danger, even though I definitely was. We all were. Like we all were. Oh my gosh. Like especially my friend's little brother. Like dude, he's like 6 years old. Like so. We go and like we do our thing. Like I remember coming back from the border, coming back from Mexico, and he wants me to the dad wants me to sit in the shotgun seat in the front. And I'm like, wow, like that's cool. Like I wonder, like it felt weird, but I was still kind of excited. Like I was like, but I wondered in my head, I was like, why wouldn't he want his son, one of his sons, he has two sons in this car, why am I sitting in the shotgun seat? I don't understand. But hey, I'm not gonna complain. Like, I'm not gonna like refuse a free meal or whatever the saying is. So I get up in the shotgun seat and we go to cross the border, and we cross the border with no, we don't even get out of the car. We just go through the border. They ask, "What are you bringing back?" My friend's dad's. I can still remember this to this day. He says, "All I'm bringing back is some surfboards, some blankets, some beers, and a hangover." And that was like his like. I bet he had that like glued because that's what he said every time. But this was the first time that I heard him say that. So they literally just wave us through. Just wave us through. Just nothing, no dogs, no anything, whatever. I mean, it was like 2 in the morning or something, so it was pretty late. But either way, like that shouldn't negate somebody from like checking a car or something just because it's late. So we get through, and like I'm like, oh, like that was a different trip for sure. But hey, we made it in. We're still here. It's all good. Everything's all good. So that was the first of the irresponsible Mexico trips, and there would be a handful more of them to come. But I'm just gonna conclude it in this next installment because it would just take too long for me to go through every single trip. But you can just imagine from that one trip, like just picture that and picture that every single time. Like, but the only thing that changed was as we started going more and more, and I realized the thing about the border, like, I started bringing stuff back. I started like taking like all the fireworks. Man, that was the main thing I forgot to say when I was talking about all the stuff we're buying. We're buying fire. We're going to the fireworks store as if it was like a Carl's Jr. or something. Like the Black Cat. That was the one I remember. I can still remember that, like what it looked like and everything. Like they had a straight up store, and then you could walk in there, buy whatever you want if you have the money for it. So we would buy all types of fireworks. Oh my gosh. On top of slingshots and, a lighter that looks like a blah blah blah. Like, God, YouTube. I'm so like nervous to say the wrong thing because my video is gonna be a waste. So, anyways, I start bringing stuff back. Like, I realize, like, every time we go through this border, we don't get stopped. I never once to this day, like, we never got out of the car. You know what I mean? Like, so I start bringing stuff back. And, like, it was crazy. I've moved so many times since this story, but I actually, in this most recent move, found some old fireworks that were for sure from Mexico. I recognized them. So I'm going to get into how this all wraps up in the next one. So stay tuned.